When Anakin Skywalker lost to Obi-Wan Kenobi on Mustafar, Palpatine was furious at Vader for his defeat because he saw Vader as the chosen one with the raw potential to become an incredibly powerful Sith Lord. His defeat on Mustafar severely crippled that potential, leaving Vader weakened and ultimately dependent on his suit, which limited his power significantly and made it easier for Darth Sidious to control him and force him to carry out his bidding. In the junior novelization for Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine's shocking thoughts as Darth Vader was rebuilt into a cybernetic suit are revealed. Let's get right into it. As the Imperial shuttle closed its wings and settled on the topmost landing platform, Darth Sidious saw a small starship fleeing from Mustafar, but at that moment he could not order the shuttle into pursuit. The uneasy urgency was stronger than ever, and it was tied to the planet, not the ship. The clone troopers disembarked first, fanning out through the quiet building to make sure nothing would endanger their new Emperor. They only found bodies of the Separatist leaders left by Darth Vader. As Darth Sidious inspected the control room, one of the clone troopers came in through an exterior door. "There's something out here, sir," he reported. "That's it," Palpatine thought. As quickly as he could, Darth Sidious followed the troopers outside onto the black sand banks of a lava river. A charred body lay on one side. No, it can't be, Palpatine thought. But it was. His promising new Sith apprentice, who was to be the greatest Sith Lord who had ever lived, was maimed and burned, and even perhaps dead. Darth Sidious ground his teeth in frustrated anger. Part of him wanted to turn his heel and leave what was left of Darth Vader to burn to ashes in the rising lava. Even if he was alive, even if he could be saved, Vader would be crippled. And not just, of course, with his mechanical limbs, but more importantly, in the Force. The Force, including both the dark side and the light, was generated by living beings, and it took living flesh to manipulate it. Darth Vader would never be able to cast Blue Force lightning, as Darth Tyrannus and Darth Sidious had. That required living hands, not metal ones, and with so much of his body replaced by machinery, he would never even come close to the potential he had. It was a great pity, Darth Sidious thought, controlling his anger, but perhaps not irreparable. Even diminished, Darth Vader would still be extremely strong in the dark side, and there were no Jedi left to challenge him. Darth Sidious had seen to that himself with Order 66. Palpatine kept walking until he could bend over the body, and to his surprise, his apprentice was still alive. Darth Vader was still breathing. Relief swept his doubts away. "Get a medical capsule immediately," Darth Sidious commanded, and the clones ran off to do his bidding. Leaning down, he placed a hand on Darth Vader's forehead, using the dark side to keep him alive. The medical capsule kept Darth Vader alive during the trip to Coruscant. Medical droids from the Imperial Rehabilitation Center on Coruscant were the best in the galaxy and were ready and waiting thanks to the Emperor's urgent message. They examined their patient at once. Much work was necessary, they reported. The amputations alone would have been a simple matter of replacement, but it was the burns that made matters so difficult. Special connections would be required to overcome the scarring, and worse than that, Darth Vader's lungs had been seared by the fire on Mustafar. He would need a permanent ventilator system in order to breathe. "Do it," the Emperor commanded. The droids bobbed their consent and went to work. Darth Sidious paced. Even an Emperor, even the Dark Lord of the Sith, with all the resources and technology of the new Galactic Empire behind him, could do little to hurry the healing process. Much later, a medical droid appeared. "My lord, the construction is finished," the droid informed him. "He lives." "Good," Darth Sidious said, with something very like relief. "Good." The droid brought him to the operating room. A black figure lay on the operating table. Black gloves and boots covered the new mechanical limbs. A mirror-shiny black mask hid the scarred face. The table began to tilt, moving the figure to an upright position, and then there was a sound of breathing. Yes, Darth Sidious thought, he will terrify them. He will terrify the galaxy. And even if he is not as powerful as I had once hoped, he will still be far more powerful than anyone else. "Lord Vader," Darth Sidious said, "you may rise." A deep voice, distorted by the speakers inside the mask, responded, "Yes, my master." The helmet turned, as if the burned and weakened eyes within him were scanning the room, adjusting to the screens in the helmet that magnified and intensified everything so that they could pretend to see. "Where is Padme? Is she alright?" And now, the final touch, Darth Sidious thought. These words will bind him forever to the dark side of the Force. And they won't even be a lie. "Not really. I'm afraid she died," he said. putting a hint of gentle sorrow and reproach into his voice. "It seems that in your anger, you killed her." Vader groaned in protest, and then he screamed. Leaning forward, he broke the straps that held him to the table and screamed again. Things imploded and flew around the room. Spare parts, droids, anything that wasn't tied down, as Darth Vader gave expression to his pain and despair. And while Darth Vader screamed, Darth Sidious smiled. His apprentice was now his, now and forever. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and learned something new, please like and subscribe. And remember, the Force will be with you, always.